Hello there everyone, and welcome back to Empire Total War with the Pirate Uber Alles mod. We're back here with Sweden, and last time around we were able to conclude with a ceasefire against the Russians. I was able to play through and build up a lot of things, the army and so on, but now war has erupted with the Russians again, so we'll see how that goes. What I've been able to do is I've been able to replenish the army. I've also been able to increase it somewhat. We have brought in a lot of these Finnish pikemen, and I believe I've also brought in some of the enlisted Swedish regiments. So here's the Iron Brigade. What was that? Too hard to say. Iron Brigade, re-recruited, but as enlisted Swedish soldiers. They will be, hopefully, upgraded to elite units again, as I've started building on the Royal Palace back in Stockholm, and I've also built up the barracks, the opera house, and the armory, so we can get demi-cannons, hopefully. I did note that cannons were a lot weaker in terms of the firepower in this mod. I wasn't sure how much, but the Shakers normally has around, I think it's 22 in firepower, so it's been reduced by a factor of 4. Demi-cannons are, I think they have 15, and in normal Empire they have close to 30, so they are reduced by half, and it seems to be going across the board that the power has been reduced at least by half for a lot of these. I've also started recruiting more troops here because I did have a minor revolt around Minsk of troops rising up against me. So I'm now building a fort because it's a frontier area against the Russians, and we're also building up the military governor's camp, which I'm also building in Finland to increase the power there. We've got 2 units of enlisted Swedish troops, 1 over in Vilnius, and then I've got 3 plus a mortar, plus I've brought over Armfelt from Stockholm, so he's here. What I'm thinking here is we're going to combine this force, and we're going to see about actually attacking towards Ukraine in Kiev down here, because the wealth of this region is close to 5,000. If I took that, that would be the second most valuable province behind Sweden and Stockholm itself. St. Petersburg is only 3,500, while Kiev is 4,700, so it's a very valuable province. I've been able to send my spies, since I was at peace with the Russians up until a turn ago. I'd actually send my spies down to take a look at what the Polish were doing, because I was thinking that it was high time to end the Polish by going down, securing that, before again fighting the Russians. They have been building a little bit, and they've been building some troops, but nothing significant, and most importantly, they haven't been moving. If they started to move, that could be a problem. But I'm thinking still that this is the option for me. The Polish-Lithuanians have been sitting on their ass for so long that I don't think they'll be moving anytime soon. And I haven't had problems with anyone else. So that's what we're going to do, but we're going to start actually with a naval battle here. I just noticed something else also. When looking kind of at a bigger picture of Europe, is that France has been doing a lot. As you can see, they've pushed in and taken a large part of Germany, and they quite recently took Amsterdam and the Netherlands under the general of Claude de Villars has moved in, and they've taken a big swath of Europe here. So it's going to be interesting to see what they're going to do next, if they're going to continue to push through here, because right now it kind of seems like the French are unstoppable. You can see all of this is on fire as the French push through. Was there something else? Yeah, but the reason I noticed this, because I hadn't really been paying attention, was that I went to the Prestige to take a look at who had points and who didn't. I'm in second place at 101 points, but France is way in the lead with 268 points. In third place, we have the Austrians. In fourth place, we've Great Britain. Then we have the Maratha Confederacy, Spain, Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth. Quite surprised that they are placed above the Russians. I thought the Russians would end up higher. Then we've got France 2.0, or France in the New World. And Denmark actually at 7. But most of it is military prestige points. You note here my enlightenment is actually really high, 45. And I've noticed that as well. I've been since I've been making a lot of money, I thought I'd be able to buy technologies from others, similar how I traded with France for technologies. A lot of them don't actually have that many technologies. One thing though is the Russians do have more military technology than me. As we can see, they have carbines and improved grenades. And at this point, I've been able to build up the empire to the point where we have growth everywhere, which is at least 7 and 19 in the capital. So it's high time to start doing military technologies. The first things first, I think, is to get the ring bayonet to increase, to remove the very obsolete plug bayonet, to get rid of that, to get the ring bayonet, and then that opens up later for a few technologies here that don't require me to take a big chunk of wealth from my different cities. So we can get platoon fire and then fire by rank. We can also get the square formation, which is good. So we can get all these 3 without spending a load of money. And then grenades is important as well, because I have a number of requests from the membership units to be turned into grenadiers. So we're hoping for that. We're gonna go over to see the naval stuff, because we're gonna do a naval battle, but I just wanted to show. So I was building up and I thought, I've been building a pretty good army. The Russians have also been building. This is about 80 units. So we have about 30 here and 29 here, and then a little under, 17 or so. So they have roughly 80 units here. Most importantly, I think, besides the fact that there's just an overwhelming amount of them, they have then... I think I have 22, and they have 80, which means they have 4 times as many troops as I do. And one of the important thing about there is they've got a lot of these demi-cannons, which have high range and pretty good firepower and accuracy for this mod anyways. And that's going to be very troublesome, because if the enemy not only has more troops, but they would be sitting in a defensive position firing at me constantly, and I would have to attack them. Obviously it makes it harder. I have a load of money now, so I think we're gonna get another cannon, and then the enlisted troops. I think probably the best money's worth I can get right now. So we're getting a load of those, and we're getting one more of these shakers, suckers, however you know how to pronounce it. And we'll see. Since there's so many here, moving forward to move on the attack would be foolish. So we're just gonna sit back and end turn and see what they decide to do, if they try to push us, because right now we're sitting here in the fort, which is good. With that said, over to the naval bit. So I've been able to expand the trade navy a bit. So now we've got 4 trade ships here. The thing is, I've spread them out across all the nodes, because I realized that I set, I think, 3 of them at 1, and I made, I think, 1300. But when I send them out to go for 1 each, they make 500 each. So I think taking control of as many of these as possible is a lot better. I also sent a 5th ship to the other coast, and I've set up one here in Madagascar as well. And I also have another fleet which is currently on its way to Brazil. However, I did note there was pirates there, and that's the naval battle. So I come in, take a look at the pirates. I went down here, and then I was like, you know, the pirates probably gonna attack me. And then I decided to go back over to Africa, but now the African fleet is coming here. And the 2 ships, my ship of the line is now gonna attack the pirates. Actually, before we go and attack the pirates, I did notice something. I just hovered over it, but I didn't specify it. In this army here in the middle, you've got Peter the Great. So you got Peter the Great as a unit here, right behind the 3-star general. So we do have Peter the Great right here, poised against our king across here. So let's see if there's going to be a fight today, or if the AI is just going to run around. But first things first is to deal with these pirates. Obviously the best thing would be to capture the ships, so I can make even more money from trade. However, that might be easier said than done. The enemy ships have a tendency to sink, but looking at the amount of guns these ships have and the amount of crew, I think it would be pretty easy to capture this fleet. So hopefully we'll be careful with them and not sink all the bastards, so that we can control even more of the trade until most of the bigger European powers come in and try and steal it from us. Right, but let's not linger here. Let's go ahead and actually conquer these pirates. Apparently one got away, or one is remaining, which I'm not too sure about, because I did in fact capture them all, although one did start to fire. One thing that I have gripe with naval battles is, for some reason, you start so far away from each other, and especially as you usually end up against the wind, so you can't really do anything to speed up the battle more than sluggishly trying to move into the wind as the enemy make their way down. And you have this unusually or really long period of just waiting for the ships to close. You would, I mean, and then we see in the land battles, the deployment zone is really close to each other. It's almost, it should be almost the other way around. Or it should be like, at least, you know, It's better if it's further away on land, because there you might need more time to think and maneuver. In the naval one, I think it should be way closer, because most of the time here it feels like it takes too long to get the battle actually started. Anyways, it was pretty easy to take them out. They had barely any crew. One thing though about pirates is I'm guessing they have really good morale. At one point, the race-built galleon, I'm not sure which one of these it was, not the lugger. Oh, so it was actually the race-built galleon, and that was the one that was on fire. At one point, during the battle, that ship, before it surrendered, and it took quite a while, it had 1 cannon left and 4 crew. So they had 3 guys operating a single cannon, and then I guess 1 guy steering the ship, even though I'd cut most of the sails. They fight really hard, and I don't know what if I would actually come up against a proper pirate fleet. One thing though I really like about here is, unlike in the land battles, where you there isn't really that much carnage, you have to fire each other pretty long time. Here, like, you can see quite clearly the impact that a broadside has on the enemy ship, and you take a serious amount of damage or health off their bar. And we just conquered that, and we took 2 of these ships, and we're now going to be trading in, I think it's coffee that's here. We're going to set one off here, and we get 480 for that. So let's just quickly, so let's put the second one. Okay, what did I do now? We're gonna put... What? Oh, what happened to you now? God damn it. I was gonna show... There we go, now he's set. So 480. 2 of them should make then 800 or 960. They make 816. If I send the second ship to a second node, it makes 460. 460 for both of these. So that 800, 920. So that's almost 100 more gold, which is pretty good. Most of these fleets are actually pretty safe. So this one has been through quite a lot, even though it's gone pretty well. So I think I'm gonna send them home to get repaired, and I might bring the 3rd ship in. And there's a pirate island. There's multiple pirate islands. What if I took a pirate island? Or if I traded? I feel like there's a lot of opportunity to trade for technologies by taking islands, or right now seemingly I've been able to get a golden opportunity to seize a lot of this trade, and before a lot of the bigger naval powers have come in, so I'll be able to make a lot of money from this, which is really good. Currently my trade to France is blocked. I don't like that, but you can see that I'm making a lot from trade. 9,600. But with that, we have done it all that we can do for this turn. So we're going to end turn, see if the Russians attack or what happens. I'm hoping either that they do attack with a single force, or that they end up in a position where one of these forces is isolated from the others, so I can attack that one on its own without risking being swarmed by the others. And then really I should increase the amount of troops here, or maybe I should already now start bringing the troops forward so that we can prepare against the attack of the Kiev region, especially before they start building that fort. I don't think I'll make it actually to... yeah, they'll have the fort ready, unfortunately. Which is going to complicate things, but they The grenadier, that grenadier has a lot of morale. 18 morale for that grenadier. One thing about the melee fighting is I did note that they lose stamina really quickly, which is a real big problem if you're gonna try and climb the wall of a fortress. Because if you climb up, you're gonna lose the stamina really quickly. Although the guys on the wall is also gonna lose it, but I feel like you get slaughtered so easily because there's so few points of actually getting up on the wall and stuff. So storming the fort, even though I would be able to perhaps outnumber the Russians here, would still be quite difficult. Anyways, I've talked too much. We have potentially a huge battle on our hands. Let's go ahead and end turn and see if the Russians strikes us. Successful operation. My spies continue successful operations. The Russians decide to move up and sit right outside the gates of the town without actually attacking it. It's one of their full stacks, 30 units. One of them went up here, the other one went down there, so we should still expect a Hans Wachtmeister has died, which I think is the Navy, or is it the Army? One of those guys was really old. It was the Navy. Hinder Wachtmeister, his son took over. Don't I have anyone better? He's actually an army guy. He'd rather go to the army. Well, we can send him to the army. Do I have anyone who's... this one is a patron of the Navy. So his management plus that, plus he's got happiness for the nobility. Not something that I need. I have a lot of these to get rid of actually. So what I can do is I can filter them all through. And then we'll put Topelius in charge. Sved Topelius. He's stood too close to the fire. We'll go through this, and then Sved will take his place. Probably not as good as the previous one, but hopefully he'll come into his own. Lord of Minister is 83, so he's gonna die soon. Chief Justice is only 25. And Lord Treasurer is 44. And then Chief Minister is 59. Right. We have fleet arriving. Good. They just arrived here. They're supposed to go here. So there's still 3 nodes here. So we'll send 3 ships then over to Brazil, and then 1 over to Madagascar. Actually, I make roughly the same. So I make 500 from these trade nodes, and I make 480. It increased. It increased the supply of. Oh, it's actually sugar. It's sugar, so wait, coffee isn't even a thing. Why was I saying coffee? There's coffee. Coffee's really bad, 60. It's only 1 above fur. Really what we would want, ivory and sugar is really good. Tea is really good. Spice is really good. Maybe I should send some to the East Indies. The East Indies, as far as I know, is only currently being traded by the Portuguese. And they're making a lot. Almost 3,000. Another fleet has arrived. Oh, it took them 1 turn to go through. That's really quick. Right, you can attack trade as you go through. So currently, just to note here, 150. After we started attacking the trade, we made like 80. Do they? Oh, they actually put a little vineyard here for the Portuguese on the Canary Islands. And then they've got some sheep over here. And then I guess they can build whatever here. And then a little trade port. Wonderful. That would actually be... that would be pretty nice to hold that. Just so I can go and repair my ships, rather than have to go all the way back to Sweden. Securing an island could be the next step in the greater scheme of my colonial expeditions. We'll go in here and then on to here. And so now it's 6 units plus a mortar. The Russians have not increased the amount of troops here. However, there's 2 turns until the fort is ready. And I won't make it until then, but we'll have 6 men ready to attack. I can actually bring in some more cannons potentially. This one has a firepower 4, this one has 5, this one has 16. The mortar actually has 16. I kind of want to test the mortar on the fort before I go ahead and start recruiting any more of those. But I do need cannon. Potentially more troops so I can just overwhelm the units that will spawn inside. So this looks like it's going to be 3 units inside and plus the horse artillery, that's easily overcome. And Commando Grenadier Company. Huh. The commandos. To make sure, I mean it's like 3 infantry units. I have double the amount of infantry. I should be doable. Plus the maybe horse grenadiers. Horse grenadiers, they fire grenades from the horseback, as you can see, because the range is only 65, and that's not muskets. That could be potentially really useful. Shoot that up the wall. Or I recruit another mortar and then add 2 extra units. And then I think we should probably try and bring Charles's army up to the full array of troops. Maybe get another cannon, or maybe get some more powerful cavalry to attack. Nothing will work before this battle though, so... Right, here goes nothing. Let's fight the first Russian army. I have 5,700 men against a Russian force of 5,700 men. Oh, it's because the Russian force is comprised a lot of these grenadier companies, which are only comprising of 120 men. However, I do think the enemy will throw grenades and stuff, so that needs to be kept in mind. And we've got these guys which can actually fire the grenades up to 60 away from... Here's an even... Oh, there's the commando grenadier unit. There's only 90 men in that unit, so they would have 90 men in the fort plus a horse-drawn artillery. That should be overcome. I keep saying that, and then it turns out this is like a really like Commander Rambo unit, and it will completely ravage through me. Well, if this is the case, then in numbers I actually outnumber them, even though they have more units. It's about the power, though, of the grenadiers, because they're probably pretty good. They have an accuracy of 50. So, but enough talking, more raiding. It's time to draw the sword and go into battle against the Russians once more. And so here we are on the battlefield. It's taken me about 10 minutes to get into this position. There's a big town, which I thought was going to play into the enemy's favor, because they have a lot small maneuverable grenadier units, so fighting around the town could be difficult. However, the AI has instead decided to make it difficult for itself, I think. The problem is, though, the artillery piece of the enemy, the demi-cannon. It's doing a lot of damage to me. What I've seen as of their units is they put a lot of their cavalry up here, which is going to mean that they're going to have to filter through the town, which means that I could probably deploy the pikes towards my left side and deal with them that way while we advance here. The point here, though, is their cannon is actually doing damage, while my cannon is doing useless noise. So I just lost almost 10 dragoons there. So we're gonna try and get rid of this one. I'm gonna see if I'll be able to fire at the cannon as we move forward here into the attack. Otherwise, I might suicide the cavalry just to get what is going on. Their cannon is riding up all the way up here to the king. Well, the king is going to take them out then. The thing here is they're going to fire canisters. I don't know if it's a good idea to stop. I think it might be better just to go right on. And just to make sure, I'm going to take the king to attack. And then I'm going to order a charge. And the secondary regiment is going to stop and fire. We get surrounded by tons of enemies here. Right, my dragoons fired. Retire. Oof. That was not good. That I lost a lot of men on those dragoons. Stick with it and break that cannon. Right, they're forced to flee, but I think we got the gun. Oh! Shit, their cavalry is actually attacking on this side. Switch to canister and recall the two infantries and recall the king. And all my heavy cavalry needs to come to this side to deal with that. This line right here should be fine. My dragoons survived, but took heavy losses. King managed to get away. But I did not realize that we're gonna push like that. Oh! Militia might come and plug this gap. No, I'm not gonna bloody well lose the king now. Order the king back. We're gonna have to swarm that unit. Royal Regiment is to swing on this side. Henriks on this side. Canister to be ordered towards this unit. I've ordered the king multiple times to bloody well leave. It's a bloody mess if I lost the king here. Canister to fire through there, which seemingly seems to be saving the regiment. And then the Russian unit got overwhelmed. You should pursue to send them off. This unit might not stand in the long run. The canister has dealt with that unit. I can't fire a canister on this one because that will break my own regiment. Household cavalry deploy, and then the Finnish cavalry will be deployed to help here. Okay, the Russians are starting their attack on this side. Finnish pikemen to the front. Swing out this regiment. And then, in addition, we'll put the dragoons on the flank. I've got the elite regiments in the back, but I think I'm going to put one on the hill. And then Izzy is going to be coming in from there. King's cavalry. Canister will hold fire. My cavalry has sent them away. We'll deploy this regiment a little bit further back and bring the militia a little bit further back. And now the Hakkapeliitta joins the fight. Just as this regiment breaks, you will hold fire for now. Right, the enemy dragoon, we need to turn back to aid the Finnish cavalry. They're about to get attacked in the back. As this regiment retreats, they're down to... I can actually fire a canister this way. At least once. Okay, so there's a lot of firing going on in the main line. I can't pay attention really here, so I'm gonna send out one of the pikemen to attack. Actually, all of them. Keep the enemy away. Okay, canister hold, or switch actually. Canister go after that one. The garrison regiment was overwhelmed by all my heavy cavalry. Let's force away this one. Canister should be deployed against this. Okay, the pikemen have now engaged the Russian line. I think we're shooting our men in the back though. So we'll order a lot of these to hold fire for now anyways. As the pikes go in. Okay, so that Finnish pike unit was broken, unfortunately. Which means that we will open fire with the others. And that Finnish pikeman is going to be broken as well, but it blunted the enemy's assault and hopefully maybe gave me time to recall the cavalry. You will, from now on, pick targets at will. Okay, so the Finnish pikemen were broken. The Freedom Regiment is now under attack. And then the Swedish Pride is under attack in the center. Heavy amount of these grenadiers. Okay, the entire front line will be ordered back. The Russians are overwhelming that. The Iron Brigade is going to be ordered back. Everyone's going to be ordered back from the front. Dahl is stuck in there. The elites will fire on the cavalry. These guys are coming back. Oh, this regiment has been brought back. I wasn't able to really pay attention here, and the front line has broken into pieces by all those grenadier units the Russians had. I'm gonna order everyone back. Just gonna see, let's see, what's this? Macrob, I mean. Macrob. Let's everything back. We're gonna have to fall back and try and reorganize. Counterattack on all those grenadiers with the heavy cavalry. And we'll see if we can't shore up this position. Right, who's running? Swedish Pride, Slavian Freedom Regiment, and Lindström. They keep sticking to the fight when I'm ordering them to flee. Right, these regiments need to hold, so I'm gonna hold Macrob and the 3rd Militia. And the cavalry is now coming in. We've got the whatever this regiment's called. We've got some bloody shit regiment attacking my guns. I'm gonna see about getting rid of that. These 3 is gonna come more towards here with the dragoons. Potentially these guys should fall back even further. Cannon's gonna be important to hold. Keep under control. I don't think that's gonna happen though. I think we're down in kind of in a valley here, which is not good. And outnumbered. So these guys will continue to fall back. Cavalry is winded, but pretty fine otherwise. dragoons. Lindström keeps falling back. Let's see. My guns, are they? Yes. Cavalry attack here. It's pikemen of Peter the Great, which is not great way of attacking, but I need to stop this attack. And my Finnish cavalry has lost a lot of men. The militia is going to stand where it is. And then with the regiments that are left, we're going to make a line like that. We're going to fire at will. Okay, the Hakabreta needs to pull back. Gun will hold fire, but switch to canister. Alright, the pikes were broken. Now you can fire at will. So the two reserve regiments are holding on. The militia is holding on. The secondary line is starting to take shape. This is the King's unit. This is the dragoons. Dragoons will be positioned here in the flank. Fire canister right up that regiment. Recruited infantry of Tsar Peter. These guys are getting too close to fire on them instead. And there's a lot more coming really close here. This regiment will fall back behind the house. And then this line, which I'm starting to build, will go like that instead. What do we have here? A regiment caught on its own. Let's smash it with the 5th Royal Cavalry. They're coming really close to the cannon here again. If they can be attacked from the back, that would be nice. Life Dragoons is charging in. The cannon is still operational. No. However, the cavalry charge here broke them. Back on the gun. Dragoons going through. Alright, the militia was broken. But now I've rebuilt the line. Okay, cavalry, you're being shot at. Pull back. Alright, dragoons try to keep the pressure up. You will move up. And then the cannons should be firing canister. 3rd militia is routing through our units. See if we can't push out the lines a little bit more. Get the people into position. Get rid of those bloody dragoons. But what are we stuck on now? Pikemen, that's not good. Dragoons fall back. Right, these guys are breaking, I think. Should be. Right, they're coming in for their secondary attack. I'm gonna get my cavalry up behind them. Right, we've got some already breaking as they're advancing on us. Regiment of Pike. Hopefully that one will break. It's a lot of smaller units making it through. We've got units breaking here. The cavalry's coming out. Let's make sure there's no pikes here. There aren't. There could be spikes, of course, that the enemy has placed, but I don't have time to check on that. Right, the cavalry's gone in. infantry will follow up as the cavalry is sweeping through. Enemy grenadiers are attacking the Macron brigade. Not the Maghreb, as some people unknown to me have mistakenly called it. All the cavalry going on to this one, 8-foot guards of Peter the Great. If it would be really troublesome, I could push in the king somewhere, but I don't think that will be necessary. Right, the cavalry has not won this fight, but I think to win the battle we need to break the center, so the cavalry will just force their way through and attack the enemy center. Same with the dragoons here, they will just force their way through. We've got more regiments coming in. This is a super chaotic battle. And we're gonna definitely have lost a lot of manpower through the battle. However, the Russian losses will be pretty staggering as well. Cavalry has swept through. Let's try not to shoot our own as we sweep, as the cavalry is sweeping through here. Hold fire. I'm gonna set the target for the cavalry far, far away, and then I'm gonna order the lines to fire at will again. And we'll see about them dealing the final strikes here. Oh, they're about to throw grenades at Lindström. What kind of damage do? They threw another round of grenades. I mean, yeah, they're pretty devastating. Probably more devastating if the unit was bigger. Okay, Värmland is not firing its full capacity. Okay, the enemy is... they keep throwing those bloody grenades. Having these 3 units pulled back to safe distance and then shoot down the enemy. Canister should be firing at this regiment, and you should be pulling back just slightly. Let's see, organize the cavalry. Heavy losses among all of these. And the thing is, this was just a third of the enemy's force. I think next time though, they're gonna attack us at the fort. Okay, there's one coming straight at you here. Might be better to target that one. You're out of shot, even. Let's see, they did I see them? I'm sure the grenadiers can place stakes everywhere. And place them at really odd positions. Right, let's come back and try and deal with what's left here. So there's 3 regiments still in the fight. Got canister. I'm gonna bring the MacRobs up through here. We're gonna deploy the reserve regiment behind them. The Freedom Regiment, the Iron Brigade, Izzy's Farts, Lindström, Närke Värmland, the cavalry is about to come up behind this part. This regiment just gave way. And I'm sure this one, now when we start to level canister in that one, they will go. Right, order everything in to the attack. This entire side will advance. The enemy kind of just... The way the enemy kind of just throws itself at my lines, and also the pikes did not work the way I wanted, but it was more just to stop them. There's a lot of pikes dead here. I think I'm not. There's definitely a better way to deploy them, and if it weren't for the fact that I'd left my left flank completely open, and where the king almost got killed by enemy, so I lost focus of the main line, I'd probably develop a better strategy of how to deal with that. Because as we moved through our own lines, we got shot in the back and all that, so not great. I think it's better to do some kind of pike and shot tactic with the pikes in between, so we can still fire at the enemy, but the pikes will take the brunt of the melee attack of the enemy and kind of lock them in there. You can form the pikes into squares, and I think placing them neatly in positions. Obviously those squares are gonna be quite susceptible to those grenade attacks and destroyed that way. Hopefully, I'm hoping the Russians put all their grenadiers in this army, and they've got no more grenadiers for any other army, because I mean this entire bloody army was just grenadiers. Insane. But there we have it. Here's the result of the battle. We deployed 5,700 against 5,300 of the Russians. So a slight advantage in number on our side. We ended up losing about half the force, a little bit less. 2,500 men lost, with 3,300 remaining. The enemy force, though, suffered heavily. They lost 4,700 with only 500 men remaining after the battle. Close to 600 actually. What I can see, it looks like all units survived the battle, as far as I can see. Perhaps the Dragoon, no, both Dragoons are still there. All the pikemen are still there, only at half size. And 5 cavalry units, yes. I think everyone survived in the force. 22, yeah, I had 22 units. So everyone survived. Highest Life Dragoons was actually the highest killer. So even though they took a hard hit right at the start when they went after the enemy cannons, they ended up with the most kills. Followed by a line infantry unit. I'm not entirely sure which one this is. 180 men remaining would make that this one, which I think is Izzy. No, Izzy's farts. I think it is this one. So it's Mac Rob's. This the second one. Oh, no, I ended it too early. Right, so I could have probably talked more about that, but there we are. How much is going to cost to replenish these? 8,000. We can replenish half of it with the money we have left. I think maybe not replenish the Finnish pikes as much, and then replenish the other troops more instead. We'll go back into the fort and we'll stay on the defensive for now. We destroyed that force, and as I said, hopefully we killed tons of their bloody grenadiers, so we don't have to deal with them again. But yeah, we have to do another 2 of those fights before the Russians are done for in this region, and we can even think about moving forward. Since this was a pretty long video as it is, it's time to end it right here. I think I will go ahead and end turn once more, and we'll see about maybe next time we can do some offensive battles instead by doing the Siege of Kiev, as the newly built fort is ready to be torn down by my mortars. But that's to be seen in the next video. So I will be saying, like I always say, hopefully you guys enjoyed this, and hopefully I'll see you guys for the next one. Bye.